Good morning.
Good morning,
Good morning. Good
guys.
morning. Good morning. Welcome.
Welcome to
Welcome, folks.
FYI. For
Yeah.
your
Look who's
information,
back. Look
I'm
who showed up for work.
I'm Sharati Finance, guys. Believe it or not, I'm
Yeah.
Sharati
Believe
Finance,
it or not,
joining
indeed.
you this wonderful morning, Tuesday morning. Sharad was out and about
Yeah.
yesterday. I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
apparently. And how are you
Long
guys
story.
doing? Beatrice, what's going on, girl?
Good to have you. Good to have you. Yolanda Thomas is here as well. Happy Tuesday to you guys. Tuesday the 11th already. Believe it or not, 11th day of October.
I can't believe the
Yep.
time is flying so
Yep.
fast. Like
It's
I
out.
know that I'll have to have so many things done, but oh my God, what am I
Yep.
going to say?
Yep. And then you see how the place getting dark very quickly. Yeah. It's coming
It's
on to Christmas.
it's getting bright very
It's
early
coming on.
too.
It's coming
So
on to Christmas.
I shoot up this morning. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like this place is too bright. I don't get it. I wanted to know if I was super late. Yeah.
It's just the nature of
Hey
things.
Ayabo, I see you. Ayabo is on this morning. Good afternoon to you, Ayabo. I hope all is well at your end. I hope
Well,
all
I
is
was
good.
on this afternoon. Yeah.
Ayabo is on this afternoon at her end, but it is
And her.
morning at our
Yeah,
end.
yeah.
So, guys, I am just doing my bit in the background here. I missed you. Is
You've
that
been
good?
missed.
Is that something good for me to say right
Yeah,
now?
it's all right. It's good. It's
I
good.
have missed each and every one of
Yeah,
you tremendously. Let
yeah.
me tell you, I'm not even going to lie.
You've been missed.
I've been looking at Sharon, just so anxious. I was on a different time.
She's anxious. You see
I
that?
was in a different time zone, so
Anxious.
I couldn't even make the show from where I was. So, but let me tell you, it was quite something, to
Tell
be
us where you
honest
were.
with you.
Don't just give us. It was quite something different times. Tell us where you were. We want to know. Be fast.
I was in Canada
She
actually.
was in Canada.
Actually, I was
Wow.
moving around a little bit.
You see these frequent flyers? She was in Canada. Tell us.
I was on work business, so no pleasure. Basically,
Mhm.
all the little bits
Mhm.
and pieces that we actually got to do that was fun. Those things government don't cover fun, at least not for
Yeah, yeah,
opposition
yeah.
members.
Yeah, yeah. Boys like them boys like that. No fun. Yep.
For
Yeah.
opposition, because
Yeah.
I noted that when I wasn't here, I noted that a lot of fun was being had.
Oh yes, a lot of winding up and stuff.
So,
And then they take the day off at splash bills. Tire out the whole self. They take the day off at splash bills. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy because I posted a photo, somebody commented on it, our taxpayers. I said, if these people only know, we can't even scratch our heads.
Yeah.
We can't even
Wish I
scratch our
wish
heads
we
in
had a good
peace.
wish we had a good entertainment allowance.
Entertainment allowance. I think.
Decent.
Let me tell you
Yeah.
what our entertainment allowance is: $1,500, fifteen
Oh
hundred Guyana
yes.
dollars.
And them girls price gone up by the thousands.
There's
You
nothing to
know.
entertain you. I don't
You
know.
get a good conversation.
People need to like really understand what
Yeah.
it's like. But it's been quite
Things tight.
quite a learning experience. I have to say that because
Mhm.
for full disclosure, I was on a training program with CAF. There's a Canadian Audit and Accountability Foundation.
Mhm.
Basically, we were meeting with the Audit Office of Ontario. We met with the Audit Office of British Columbia, those provinces there, and it was quite amazing to see the way in which they're structured and that
Just
PhD.
just like us, I'm certain.
My
They're
God.
just like us. I'm
It's
very certain.
it's quite amazing to know the way in which they're structured.
Hmm.
Not like us, the systems are so much more developed.
Oh,
And the main thing is,
that's more developed.
what was like very admirable is the fact that at the level of the PSC, the Public Accounts Committee of these areas,
Hmm.
politics is not there.
Hmm.
They don't operate in a partisan manner. Everything is done
Oh,
bipartisan
that
because
is everywhere.
the
It's only
aim
me.
the aim is to actually go forward and to create strong institutions and strong
Oh,
systems so that they have a bulletproof system when it comes
wow,
to corruption and those things. It's
wow.
absolutely
But
amazing
by
to
the
see.
end of the program this morning, we can show you how we there
Oh my goodness,
with
I
the
don't know what it's going to
bulletproof and all those fancy things. We can show you all by the program. But look what Twitter brought me.
Oh goodness, I had to bring Sharon
Twitter
his
brought me back
newspaper.
newspapers. So cool. Somebody brought us the what current it is. Connecticut newspaper. What's the name of that? And the Times colonists. They will bring me
I
back.
was the only person on the trip, Sharon, that was looking for
Wow.
newspaper because of you.
Wow. The colonists. Was it hard to get? Somebody
No,
told me in
super.
Connecticut. What's the current? Something current in Connecticut. Y'all check and find. Watch the colonist Times. You see that?
Yeah, it's two
Folks,
different ones I
you
brought
have to catch
actually.
up. the global and mail.
Uh-huh.
That is one, folks. Please,
Yes.
the global and mail, and then the Times columnist. You see
Please and
that?
thank you.
Please and thank you.
Yeah. You see,
Oh.
I know what I have
Respect
to
and
do.
manners, you can.
Respect and manners.
Respect
When
and
you see we
manners.
go.
And then look at the
I know
man.
I don't do
Look
this
at
right,
that.
you know.
I couldn't go to the tower, but the tower came to me.
So,
You see that? Respect and manners. Let me show you, man. Y'all fast. Y'all see the practice this morning. Things come my way. I said, boy, but take.
thank you, June. As
Look
June
story
said,
here, now,
welcome
man.
back, Juretta.
Look story here. What is this called?
No,
That
that's
is
the CN Tower.
the
in
CN
Canada.
Tower. Let me see.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a good view.
That's the CN Tower. You know, actually, this was quite a good experience for me because I don't
Yeah.
like heights, like, period. Anybody knows, you know, I'm
Mhm.
super scared of so many things, you know. And height is one of the things
Trying
that
to pretend to be
super,
brave.
super scared of, right? So, like, this was
The CN Tower.
this was an experience to me because we went up to the main platform, which is here, and then there was an additional cost to go up here. So I'm like, I took a deep breath and I said, I'm going to do this.
For you. Do it for you.
And I
Overcome your
went.
fear.
It's quite an amazing experience altogether. I'm
Yeah,
not saying
yeah.
I'm not a risk taker
And
when
then
it
we
comes
have
to
the base of
scary
it is the
stuff.
maple flower.
Yeah,
Canada's
well,
official flower, and then you have the nice
yes.
flag in front. Oh man, we are people with things. I'll leave it just different for this morning. These are people with
Shirt is different.
our things. I want you.
Yeah.
Once we prick myself.
I brought a souvenir for his shirt since I
Yes,
couldn't.
beautiful.
Since he wasn't
You see?
there.
Y'all see that? People with things.
Yes, it's actually very cute.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You see, I see Tony Hawks, my favorite MP director. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah,
to you,
I'm not
Tony.
even here. I short. But folks, I have Natasha Congraves and
I miss
Carpenter.
all of them. Good night.
Well, let me tell you,
Gwinnett.
the folks in Antigua and Barbuda and also in St.
Uh-huh.
Kitts, they said, don't come back without Rita.
Oh my goodness. You see, I love
Don't
you.
come back.
I love you folks. Come on. I love it. What are you going to be doing?
said,
Why did you do
Don't
that?
come back without Rita. It's all right.
Warren said, how was the weather? Oh my God.
Yeah.
I loved it. I'm not going to lie. I loved it. I loved
It
every
seems
bit
to have
of
agreed
it.
with your complexion too. Like once you come out of this country, you start looking better. You start looking up. Once you come out of this country, you know, I was telling my wife yesterday, I think I came back with a glow. Like it got, by the time you read through headlines in the paper locally, your glow gone. The garment glow. The garment glow. While you are out, you know the Ram Kaichur news.
You know, right? Like, how did that happen so
You know the Ram Kaichur. Oh,
this is like, no, it's not good.
Yeah,
It's not okay
yeah.
about what happened in Kaiser
Yeah,
at all.
the Ram Kaichur. Story this
It's
country.
because he writing those things.
Yeah, the Ram Kaichur. Millions gone. We can touch on that later on too.
We will be touching
Millions
on
gone.
that. That's crazy.
The Ram Kaichur.
I
Warren, you know the Ram Kaichur, boy.
Listen, I know. Listen, I'm going to be backing up a little bit here because I wasn't here, so I didn't get to. I didn't get to dive into the conversation with everyone. But I know that you guys went like full out on it.
Yeah.
But I saw some people on stage and
You know when you finish whining, you gotta leave the country. You know that?
like, what is going on?
When you finish whining up and so, we have a country to lead. You know,
I haven't, like, I
you gotta look after crime and so on. Lots of other things, you know.
You know, I think that was like what we see is a definition of people majoring in minor issues.
Yeah.
And a major issue they put minor emphasis in, and that's a problem. That's a real problem that we're having right now.
PhD whining.
My goodness, I don't think that's a PhD.
I want to wind up the Bamia Primary School. I want to wind up the housing scheme in Linden, the start and the can't finish. I want to wind those projects up. Fitzherbert, Jerick.
I see Warren's a critic.
Fitzherbert, remind me what is the name of the newspapers there in Connecticut?
That's
something
legit.
current. Where?
I see Warren is saying critic got bit by a snake. I don't know.
A snake bit by a snake. Wow. The contradictions in this life. Yeah.
I don't know.
Snake bit
what
by a
happened
snake.
there? What happened there? Let me know
Snake
what's
bit
going
by
on.
a snake. Yeah.
I love this. I love the little time to explore different systems to see how it works.
Mm-hmm.
And what I can say is that our system is severely broken.
Yeah.
That was one.
And like the Arab Bridge.
That was clear. These people went through a question period at the level of the National Assembly, in which they were given 2 minutes to when it comes to the presentation of things from the government side, they were given 2 minutes, and the end of that 2 minutes, that's it. You know, I was thinking, the PPP ministers, they wouldn't even begin their preamble properly in a 2-minute session. 45
minutes in, and they still in touch the subject matter.
The actual.
They're still on the last election.
Mm-hmm.
2 years in, the courts and give a verdict yet in on them cases.
Yeah.
Where did the snake bite Marilyn Thomas? Well, no, the snake bite the goalie is dead. The snake dead.
Let me come into the comment sections a little bit. I see
You know?
June Cameron said, I hope it's.
So
Oh my
and
goodness.
rapid, huh?
You guys are so
It rap.
mean this
It rap.
morning.
It
You
rap
guys are so
boardness.
mean. I see Sharon McPherson. Good morning to you, Sharon. I hope all was well. I hope everyone is well. I
Yeah.
hope everyone is doing great.
Yeah.
You know how I always say.
Well, not Glenn now. You know the rap guy, sure. You know the rap guy, sure. Oh God, this country here. Carry me by the tower, Drew. I beg you. Carry me by the tower. Carry me upstairs high.
It was good. It was good. I think you like.
Somebody wanted you snake bite you. Squabby snake.
I don't know what. I don't know what you guys do with Sharon, but Sharon is on a different level this morning.
You know the rap cry, sure, eh?
You're gonna make me cry. You're gonna laugh.
Oh, folks, this
morning.
country, this is how we process. You know, yes, this is World
processing.
Mental Health Day. This is how we processing. You
World
know,
Mental Health Day.
this is how we processing. Yeah, carry by the tower.
I see Carpenter Boy Truth Tellers on this morning. Good morning to you. I missed you all so very much.
Yeah.
Basil Clark, good morning to you. Basil says it's a beautiful day in Brooklyn.
It is. You know the rap kite, sure.
But
Beautiful
Kite
rap
Shore,
then.
you know what is the thing about Kite Shore is that the staff of Kite Shore took some time to get through what happened years ago. You know, they took some time
They're
to
right
get
back
through
there.
that. And to know that they have to go back to that again,
Right there,
that
right
mental
there.
state that which
Right there.
and they need to be counseled and all sorts of
Right
things
there.
because you're leaving your families and all of that to go out into a job
Mhm.
and that happens. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's just how ironic is it that the last time it happened to Kite Shore was on the
Yeah.
VP administration and
Yeah.
now back again. Like that's just
Yeah.
crazy.
Folks share the life. You know, somebody says, I love watching two of you. Somebody sent me yesterday morning a screenshot that nobody is watching NCN, but I wasn't watching either. Yeah. We're privileged to have you guys watch this in the morning. Nobody was watching NCN yesterday morning.
Stan,
You know,
have a comment there for you.
don't say 40.
Don't say 40.
Say 43. Or just 3. You know, don't say what. This is what happened at Kite Shore News yesterday, folks. Some of what happened at Kite Shore News yesterday morning.
Millions missing from Kite Shore newspaper.
AI, I think it's
The
Nate.
paper says an
AI
ex-employee
Nate.
is
AI
presently
Nate
in
has it
police
first.
custody for carrying out the brazen robbery at the newspaper's Sathon Street office early Monday morning. The former employee, along with 2 other men armed with
All right, we're going to try to take it from the top because that's how we like to do things. From the top.
millions missing from Kite Shore newspaper. The paper says an ex-employee is presently in police custody for carrying out the brazen robbery at the newspaper's Sathon Street office early Monday morning. The former employee, along with 2 other men armed with a handgun, reportedly walked into the building just after midnight and held 3 employees at gunpoint, robbed them of their personal belongings and carted away a safe with cash from the company's accounts department. The employees on duty at the time were identified as 2 security guards and a 20-year-old graphic artist. The graphic artist was grabbed by the gunman after returning from a supermarket at around 12:30 a.m., the paper said. He recalled rapping on the door, but no one came to open it. The graphic artist decided to push the door, and as he entered, he was grabbed by one of the bandits from behind who pointed a gun at his face and said, "Come, come." The gunman then reportedly relieved him of his plastic bag and ordered him to lay down next his colleagues. He recalled too that the gunman patted them down and relieved them of their cellular phones and other belongings, according to the newspaper. The graphic artist recounted as well that he heard loud thudding sounds as if persons were moving a heavy object down the staircase next to the room where they were being held captive by the gunman. The light then suddenly came off and the bandits disappeared. Further checks made in the building later revealed that the bandits had broken into the accounts department, where they prized open one of the drawers from a desk and removed a safe from underneath. Millions of dollars are missing, the paper is reporting.
Yep. Brace it over.
Wow.
Cecil Shipper.
That's just crazy.
Brace it over.
That's just crazy.
Yeah. And that's in the capital city, you know, that isn't Latem. This is in Kanji. That's right around the corner, you know, right to the corner. Right? Should we talk to Karen here soon? Talk to Karen this morning.
I see Kieran is out and about, right about with a taxi service. I don't know.
Brace it over, Karen. Brace it over.
Kieran is in there in the comment section. Now, Kieran is one of my biggest fans.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I have to give Kieran a shout out. Special shout out to Kieran. You need a taxi, call him up.
Yeah. You know, the brazenness in which they carried out that robbery yesterday, it's amazing that they were on the face, like police could respond.
But the police did respond.
Right?
The police apparently did respond, you know?
No, but Jurita, the Rumbell police station is just up the road.
Well, that's another thing.
It's just up the road.
Thank you for reminding me. You know, I'm not from Georgetown.
Yeah, the Rumbell police station.
I'm from Bardic.
Just
I
up
know
the
where the
corner.
Bardic police station is. So.
Excuse me. Just up the road. You see that? Just up the road. Yep. Folks, we ought to remind you that it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Jurita.
Yeah, I know that this is a big one. This is super huge. For like as a woman, you know that when it comes to breast
And as
cancer,
a man, let me just put it in there.
yeah, there's a little bit, a very small fraction, but we do acknowledge also. But you know, for years we've had thousands and thousands, millions rather, of women that have lost their lives to breast cancer. And Breast Cancer Awareness Month is just we need to get to a point of persons being so educated on the subject that they are willing and ready and actually go forward and take regular checkups and things like that. That's what we want to do.
Correct.
You know, because I have lost a lot of people to breast cancer myself. I can say that I've lost some relatives a lot of persons that I know very close to me lost their lives to breast cancer, and because of that, I know how much this impacts someone, and to have to witness someone that you love suffer. It is one of the hardest things that anybody can actually experience. So I have to say for women out there, you know, we have to make sure that we do regular checkups and things like that. It's absolutely necessary that we go out there and we take the necessary precautions, make sure that we are testing, checking ourselves. And then the sad part is that we're, even as I say it, the reality that I am faced with is that right now at the hospitals, we're not even getting regular Panadols and regular medicines for basic things. More so, how do a woman go in from Latam? You just mentioned Latam, and go to the hospital. So she's coming for a mammogram. So she's going to do a regular checkup and all of that. We have to get to a place in which it works. The system works, because it's very sad. And we, you know, I always question at these points in time, I always question the level of science and the pharmaceutical corporations, or whether or not we're looking at the case in which a treatment is more profitable than a cure, because those questions come to my mind. You know, me, I wouldn't be myself if I just didn't put it out there. So,
and you know, on the, I think it was in the first and the second, the administration, they were offering free testing in Main Street, and we were advising folks to go out there and make sure you start a process, because early detection is really and truly the best hope that you have right now outside of a cure for fighting cancer. Early detection. So I hope that you guys who are at home took that opportunity, and even those of you in the diaspora that you have been starting that process, if you haven't already, in terms of getting tested and all of that. The morning paper is good, folks. The morning papers, we got a couple of things we want to bring to your attention. In the morning papers, I think we're starting where we're starting. Go ahead, Julia.
I think you wanted to say we started and not started, you know. we spoke about this matter before, so when I saw it in the papers, like it did catch my attention. But the West Kanji and NDC chairman has lost his life there, um, and he's lost his life, as bizarre it is, guys. He dies a week after being stung by bees, and you would remember we went through this conversation in depth prior.
Correct.
We went through this conversation in depth because we were saying that we don't want to wait until situations are out of control. You don't want to wait until first. You don't want to be reactive. I said this. We can go back to programs that we did before. I said, let us not be reactive when it comes to the situation with bees, because it seems to have gotten to a point that it's getting out of hand. And here we have it, someone losing their life is absolutely sad. This is something that I believe personally that could have been avoided. I believe if we had taken the matter at hand very, very seriously and looked at it very much in depth, we wouldn't have to be reading that the NDC chairman there from West Country has lost his life. My sincere condolences to his family, his close friends, and all the persons that loved and cared for him, because when it comes to life, I put everything aside. I put every single thing aside. We have to do better when it comes to these things. The bee issue is a real issue. We don't have systems in place for so many things, but when it comes to these things, children have lost their lives in this country being stung by bees before. We have a system that is set up that don't take those matters as priority matters and
I'm
treat
happy
it
you
as an
said that.
issue.
I'm happy you
It's
said that.
crazy.
Because in so many other places, you would see warnings periodically
Yeah.
about how to engage bees or how not to engage bees. Especially that area seems to be an area prone. Region 5, Region 6. We've heard a lot of cases of people being stung, cane cutters, cane harvesters being stung by bees, groups of them. And again, this is one of those instances that really and truly underscores how dangerous bees can be, how very, very dangerous bees can be. I think more needs to be done in terms of educating the population how really and truly they should engage bees. What are the things to look for if you go into an area that might have a beehive? And if you're stung, what are the things that you should do very, very quickly? It's like we had a tropical storm recently, and the Met folks didn't. I can't remember seeing any real warning. Trinidad had a very bad bout of that tropical wave, and some other places we were spared the brunt of it. But
Yeah.
still, we were right in the path of some of that.
Yeah.
And
We need to have
the
better.
advisories are always lacking. That's the
We
point
need
I
to
want
have
to make.
more systems in place. The institutions needs to work, and that's why I keep telling people, when we have the system in which persons want to micromanage every aspect of what goes on, we have a failure of the actual system, the institutions. The institutional breakdown is what we're looking at, and it doesn't work. I was going to say a little bit there just now that we need to have a system with persons could call in and said, I'm seeing bees around, to have persons come to the area and actually check and see. But
The
we have a
hotline.
system,
Who's the hotline?
but when you talk about hotline numbers, one of the things, the first thing that comes to my mind now is that we had this whole big launch of a hotline when it comes to the domestic violence hotline. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Something as serious as that doesn't work. And we're going to have so many discussions moving forward when it comes to that also. So let's go, Sharon.
Yeah, interesting enough. Interesting enough.
Well, guess what? This one is interesting because I just came back from Canada, but 7 arrested with over 65 pounds of cannabis in Blackbush Polo. So imagine the culture shock. You're there in Canada and everybody's smoking weed every corner.
Free top.
It's like
We still struggling
every
here.
corner, persons are not, people are not going to jail for a joint and stuff. The people don't have time to waste. They need the institutions to work. They need the economy to continue to thrive, and because of that, they want active persons on the road actually doing good work.
Yeah.
And we have a country in which I don't know. Like I just said, we major in a minor. I have to say that, but this is in 65 pounds of cannabis. When it comes to that market, this underground black market, the underground economy and all of that, those things are not being able to monitor if something is not legalized. A more developed nation would seek to decriminalize at the very least when it comes to persons smoking cannabis, so that they can actually get control and they can set up institutions to actually monitor the use of cannabis, but we are still backwards. We still have, when it comes to the bill that speaks to the decriminalization of a certain amount of marijuana, we still have that bill languishing away there in a select committee. That is a bill that you put to the
Yeah.
National Assembly that the PPP hijacked, of course. All right.
Then the shift to hemp.
And then they shift to hemp. Like, how does that work? Like,
Right.
I just don't get it.
But
How
what
does
is
that work?
interesting for me is the people who are being apprehended now. They look different than people who you stereotype as smoking marijuana. They look different.
Because the stereotype is nonsense. The stereotype is total crap, for the need of a better word, or
Yeah.
the morning program. But the stereotype is total crap. That's the whole truth of the matter. We have to get to a place in which we acknowledge when it comes to cannabis and certain things. Cannabis is, by all the research, is less harmful than cigarette, but yet you have members of parliament going out on the balcony and smoking and all of those things, cigarettes, but weed is illegal. And
But I'm advised you got members of the government who light up a joint ever so often.
And I'm pretty sure,
they're pretty stressed with Irfan's performance and what they're doing.
I don't know why they do
Just
it.
light up a joint too.
I don't know why they do it, but at the university level, I went to University of Guyana like 2000. I graduated in 2011 in my first degree. During that period of time, I knew lecturers, a lot of the lecturers who use cannabis. So this is not a conversation you just have. The perception that persons you have to be like you have to be on the wrong side of life and all of that to use cannabis, absolute nonsense. So we need to get to a point of elevation in our thinking. We need to evolve as a people
and quick
to understand that we are only harming ourselves and more to the wider economy by not going on a line in which we actually structure a system so that we can decriminalize certain amounts of cannabis use, and we will be able to monitor these systems a little bit more. When the institutions are in place, the black market doesn't work as it needs to work, as usually work, right? So let us get to that point, guys. That's all I have to say on that matter. I've never used weed. I don't think I'm too scared to do anything. But more power to the people who use weed.
Please and thank you. Thank you.
I don't even think that's.
Thank you
I don't
for
even said I
looking
don't
out
even
for
think
us.
I said it right.
Thank you for looking out for us.
I don't even think I said it
Share the light, folks. Smash that emoji, but thank you for looking out for us.
I know
Share the light.
I said that right.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
All of you want
more power to the people. More power to the people. Share the light, guys. Smash that emoji button for me, and that's what we gotta do.
This is the wrong
What's
morning.
up next? I think we are on the Deborah Harbor Bridge, yeah?
Oh goodness! So there I was, reading my news online, and I saw that another vessel has hit the Deborah Harbor Bridge.
Don't talk too quick. Something else might be coming down the river right now.
But then I saw various government news media pushing that persons are calling for the new bridge.
Expedite.
Right? So as a member of the Public Accounts Committee, I'm thinking to myself, wait, these people,
Yeah. Right now, they say the private sector got some wood and nail.
People coming from
starting on the new bridge.
You know what happens to the emergency works when an emergency contract needs to go out? It gives way to a lot of.
Yeah. No tendering and procurement and
so
all them things.
But I noted that
single sourcing.
I noted that the bridge is actually back up and running, and I think that's
light.
Note all the sarcasm that was online about no traffic congestion because the West Coast folks could not come over. The Region 3 people could not come over.
Is them discussing the traffic congestion?
A lot of hate was given to Region 3 people. Region 3 people, Ayabo, not Ayabo. I saw Dawn Cook come on and there just now. She said she was late. Good morning to you, Dawn. And Dawn, I know that you must have been stuck over there. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that happened. And I'm gonna give pure love to all the persons there that reside on the West Coast that received so
West
much
side
hate.
is the best side, man.
That received so much hate, I tell
West
you.
side is the best
from
side.
the folks online. They were hating on the West Coast people. They were saying like they're the reasons for all the traffic congestion and all of that. Guys, we love you. We make sure that that I'm gonna make sure that I tell you this morning. So don't worry with those persons and all of it.
Yes.
Light traffic. The bridge has been, this bridge has stood up to so much, if I can put it over like that, because the bridge was only put there for a certain amount of years, but it has way exceeded those years right now. But when Barnum did things, he did things properly. I don't know how else I should say that. The Linden Highway is another example of that, and infrastructure work actually standing the test of time. We have cases right now, the road to last week, before you, when you pass in this week, the shade of asphalt that was put on the near surface of it is
Thin, thin layer.
it's getting old.
It just says the one standard used everywhere.
That's
One
frightening. That's
different
frightening. I don't know.
contractors, one standard. I thought the same thing. We thought the same thing here. Folks, we have hundreds of you watching us. We're so privileged from home and around the world. And we encourage you guys to share that live button for us. Smash that button. Smash that emoji too. Let's know how you guys are feeling out there. Chisel Chipper, Warren Figueroa, Oren Don Cook, Marlon Thomas.
So listen,
All
so I
of the
was
guys.
taking my friend to the airport this last night rather, and the road was bumpy at one point in time. She didn't realize it was so she bumped her head.
Wow.
So she was like, "This is a bad patch." I'm like, "This is a good road."
Assaulted by the road. You know? Who do you carry your complaints
This is a
to?
good road.
Yeah.
This is a good road, folks. We
Yeah.
have,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
when you see infrastructure development in other parts of the world, and then you come back to see what's going on here, you understand the level of corruption that happens in your country, and the fact that monies are actually being expended for
And it's
quality
so
work.
blind. It's so blind. Like
Yes.
I saw somebody was asking, I'm a letter to the editor or somewhere online, you know, how come nobody from the guy all fiasco has been charged, you know? How come people still walking around free?
Because somebody family, you know, the nepotism thing and all of those things.
Yeah.
Somebody family, a family friend,
Yep.
or
Yep.
this
Yep.
and that. I see Warren to the road in Cambodia is first class. You know, Warren travels a whole lot more. So
It's frequent flyer.
I understand why Warren doesn't come home very often.
Frequent flyer. It's the roads. Warren's gotten to good roads, you know.
I felt like you, Sharon. Let me tell you, I felt like Sharon. You know, Sharon says when he
Yeah.
travels, like
Yeah.
when he comes back to the airport
Yeah.
and he's looking at exit door.
See the exit door, what you may say, you know.
So I had that moment. I was like,
Where you going back there for us?
there's purpose at home.
Yeah.
There's purpose at
Yeah,
home when we
there's
need to get
purpose.
to that.
The
you know?
purpose. There's purpose. It's big to itself. It serves the spiritual songs. There's purpose. There's purpose. There's purpose. There's purpose. Yeah, there's purpose.
Warren is doing
You
the
know.
Lord's work, a missionary.
Yeah.
That's what he's traveling doing.
I want missionary too.
Isn't it, right?
Any place else. You know, it was there in St. Kitts and Nevis in particular.
Mhm.
And the place I was staying had a good view, like a half of the island was higher, overlooking that Caribbean Sea. My God, I tell them that's a piece of heaven. But you know what? I told the folks there, I said, y'all are numb to the view.
Yeah, because they're so used
Every
to
day
it.
they wake up when they go there and they do it.
Mhm.
It's just another view.
You just got to lose them in GT for a week.
Yeah.
and
They
send
start
them
crying
back
for home. They start crying for home. Bring back heaven. You know, was a beautiful expanse of real estate.
Mm.
And that Caribbean Sea, and to hear those waves every day and to look out on the God's work, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how we have to. That's how
So
we have
a
to.
hammock
look at it.
here, a little book, you know, and that's it, you know.
Yeah, we're still a blank slate here in Guyana.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do, a lot to be done. We have an issue, and I think that like the more you're exposed to different systems, the more you
The
see
more you
how
want to come back.
the more you see how detrimental is that the divide is in our country, and the fact that you have half of the country being segregated when and not given the opportunities to actually be on board to play an active role in investment and all of that.
Yeah.
And it just hurts the country.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing for you to try to target individuals and keep them down and suppress their business and all of that, but it hurts the overall country when you do things like that, because when it comes to capacity, for example, we frequently talk about the fact that when budgets are going forward and so forth, we don't have capacity. We don't have the capacity in terms of execution of all those projects and all of that, because we don't have that amount of contractors there with the equipment, and those companies that are just not there and capable enough to do all of those work. And yet we see persons suppressing people that are trying to build and trying to invest
Sad.
and all of those things. So that's a real issue that we have. And if we don't move forward from that, we're going to be left behind for a very, very long time. So we have to get ourselves together. We have to get on track and just get the work done.
Yep. Or else cat it with dinner.
Yeah.
Cat it. What else we
What
covering today?
else? Well, I don't know what else to say about that.
What else we covering this morning?
Oh my goodness, the COI. You know, I know Sharon, you've been covering this one for some bit, but the opposition accuses PPP of hijacking elections. A COI.
Yep.
I don't know how else we should say this. Come on.
Yep.
Was the opposition involved in any part of the processes that is leading to the COI? You know,
No
I said it here.
consultation whatsoever, especially the terms of reference for
But
the
that's what
COI.
I was just
Yeah.
going to say. You know, I said it here before when the whole big announcement was made about the COR. I said I have to look at the terms of reference as the TOR. That's how it's going to determine what they're going to try to do and all of those things. The PVP is the PVP, and
Shout it.
they're not surprising me in any way with the way in which they're going forward with these things. I think that they're trying to rush a COI just before local government elections, and they're trying to direct the path of that COI so that they can have some kind of propaganda, misinformation, and disinformation. I always say when it comes to them because it's done with intent, and I believe that they are pushing and they're pushing a little too far that them themselves don't understand the detriment at which it's going to cause them. And one of the things that I have been looking at, shared with the COI, is how they have been. We've been talking about it, but how they have been structuring these things and how they have been parading the various media houses, the government media houses, to make it appear that this is taking the place of an actual petition hearing. And that bit of danger that comes with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. But they ain't going no place for that because what? They got all these cases before the courts, the magistrates courts, 2 years out. Nothing and doing. Maybe that's why they need a COI. They need some because they ain't getting anything out of the courts. And the petitions going in a different direction than where they want them to go, evidently. And so they got a COI, and then you got the presidential COI, and then seemed to have a separate COI because he was given some information by GCOM. Same GCOM who said they can investigate. It's only a competent court through an elections petition can investigate and interrogate an electoral process. But yet, they had some names and so on to, I don't know.
Wow.
So it's quite interesting. It's quite
The,
interesting.
the one involved,
Conformation.
one of the key players involved in the election petition case, and then that needs to be said, because we did talk like very publicly. The information is very public about who was in charge of various areas and where a lot of documentations were missing from and all of those things. So you have those key players, and then you see them being the person that is supposed to be spearheading an investigation. Dealing with the relevant information. How does it even make sense? Like, how does it even make sense?
It make no sense at all.
No
No sense whatsoever. Yep. None.
Don Sullivan,
None whatsoever.
I see you there. Don says on Border Legacy is standing, the Linden Highway, the multilateral schools. Every time Anna, we're trying to multilateral do well, it's fulfilling born on stream.
That's what it is.
There.
That's what it is.
That's a pretty
That's what it is.
direct comment. Yep.
Yep. Some things we're tracking, folks, internationally. We think you ought to know about as we segue from the morning papers. And first up, I think we're back with Russia. Yep. Russia pounded some of Ukraine's major cities yesterday in retaliation for this bridge that was blown up in Crimea, one of the annexed territories of Russia. Right. The bridge was blown to smithereens over the weekend, and Putin bombarded the major Ukrainian cities yesterday. Folks are watching this. They're watching this. Revenge of the Putin.
I always start my comment when it comes to international.
By breathing hard and then exhaling.
No, about when it comes to international, anything concerns international relations. And I always start my comment and I always say that I'm no foreign relations expert. That's the first thing I say. And I always keep saying it because I haven't studied the art of foreign relations. That's not my area of expertise. But as the common person that's looking at this situation, the only thing I keep saying is that we hear about so many international organizations being set up with the role and purpose of keeping peace and civility and making sure that diplomacy is used to solve issues and all of that. And then we have Russia and Ukraine. Then we have that situation. And for me, it tests every single last one of those institutions that claim to be in charge, that billions of dollars are being expended and that claim to be the ones that you go to make sure that peaceful resolutions are met and all of those things. And when you have Ukraine, the Ukrainians crying, the leadership of Ukraine and the Ukrainians, the people itself, actually crying for help, And where are all of those organizations? What is their
Yeah.
level of aid? How are they able to
Yep.
actually go in there and diffuse that situation? Persons are
Yep.
dying every single day in Ukraine, and it begs the question as to what are we doing as the world? What is being done as the world when it comes to leadership, and what is stopping the world from just going into another world war once again.
Yep.
I
Yep.
don't see the institutions, I don't see the
Yep.
organizations actually working, and I have a serious problem with that.
Yep. Haiti crying out for help
Well,
too.
Haiti, my thing with Haiti is that I said it, over 11 million people. Apparently, that there's a direct effort to not make those persons empowered. Not to have over 11 million people empowered at all.
Yep. Sounds fair. Taiwan telling us this morning that they're not about to go to war with China,
Mm.
but they are bolstering their defenses as any nation can. Yep. And I saw a report, I think, overnight in the Foreign Affairs magazine, in which there was a report saying that more and more Taiwanese resent being called Chinese.
Uh-huh. And I
Resent.
I see that, but I understand why they said there are bolstering their defenses. It is time at a time like this. Let me put it over like that. At a time like this, when China that has shown but has given public support to Russia for what is going on between Russia and Ukraine, then if I were in any form of government in Taiwan, I would have been saying it's time for me to ramp up my defenses, because China and Russia seems to be on the same page when it comes to a lot of border disputes. That if to put it in that light. So if I understand what the direction Taiwan is going in right now, and that is something that, like I said, no one is waiting. These more developed worlds, they're not waiting on these organizations to function for them, because they understand the politics at the level of those organizations, and that who controls the power when it comes to the voices of those organizations. So if you are not, this is about it all seems about interest, and all I keep thinking about is when it comes to Guyana, how are we as a people protected? How are our borders being protected? Because we don't even have an army. We have a defense force, Sharon.
Yeah.
In the 592.
That's happening. That's happening. That's happening in the 592. First and foremost, this guy is missing. And if you guys have seen him, there's the phone numbers there you can contact. He was living with his brother in Ichabali. And his brother recently told his parents that he's been missing for about 2 months now.
Yeah.
About 2 months now. He's afraid to have been shot or something like that, God forbid. But you have to assume that he is alive until proven otherwise. And so he's missing Mark Anthony Sisankar or Susankar, also known as Vicky. And folks, these are the numbers you contact if you know about Vicky's whereabouts. Contact these numbers or the closest police station.
Yeah, that's a really big issue. It's a Bali, when you go to bar, you get the boat pulls up here, you hear, Prony, it's Bali, everybody asking that's the basic and bar to be in the gateway to the interior. Those are areas to go to through there. And I did say a lot of times on this program, when it comes to the system, especially when it comes to security and protection by police force, and so in a lot of it, it's non-existent in many of these areas, because of how the terrain is
Yeah.
set, and the fact that
Yeah,
that
vast areas.
there isn't enough resources to actually dispense law enforcement to each and every one of these areas. And a lot of these areas also are indigenous areas that's governed by a Tushao and that council there. So it's a very different system altogether. But I think that I hope and pray that that young man is okay,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you don't want that bit of grief on any family.
Yeah.
So I think anyone that knows of his whereabouts, if you went to work with somebody, if you were staking somewhere, whatever it is, just
Yeah.
speak out about it, because it seems like in the interior, law and order is it's a different thing. You have to experience it. You have to have lived it to understand what I'm talking about. It's a different game there altogether. So this young man, Mark Anthony, also known as Vicky, make sure that if you know about his whereabouts, if you have persons going up into the interior at any location, and so make sure that you find out about him, because it could very well be, I'm trying to be a little bit more, a little bit more positive here. It could very well be that that he went to work in one of the at one of the mining camps or something, and they're like in the heart of nowhere, and he can't get signal to contact relatives and
Yeah.
whatever. So I'm hoping that it goes down that line.
Hoping for the best. Hoping for
Yeah.
the best. That being said, folks, Anthony Snow is complaining this morning that he went to the Brigham police station to make a report, and something was dripping on him, and he has been experiencing a burning sensation. We're picking this up out of Sabbath News. A burning sensation from upstairs. There's one story upstairs at Brigham police station. It's a burning sensation.
Yeah, I'd noted part of the live because he did do a live and where he made these where he made these complaints. I didn't know parts of the live and so forth, but there wasn't any real answers given to him. That was the main thing, and it's just the dismissiveness with which the system works. Like something dripping on you, burning.
What do you want me to do?
That's a dismissive nature because that's what I gathered. That's not what he said. That's what I gathered altogether is like persons are just not serious about these things. And Anthony Snow issue is that he was exposed to a system that works. He was exposed to a system that is there thriving. So when he has to deal with a system that's completely broken, it's like
a cultural shock.
It is. It's so.
You're in the States, no more.
It is. That's what it is,
You get a cultural shock.
But I don't know. He has been making a lot of comments, representations. Like some things I can understand, some things I don't agree with, and so forth. But this particular matter, whenever you deal with institutions, government organizations, agencies that are government aligned, you should expect that they are there to serve you, and not you are there begging them for favors.
Yeah.
And that's the difference that we need to see, because persons operate at a lot of these places as though you are there, as when you go there as a person that they are there to boss and command, and they treat you anyhow, and that's a real problem. That is the problem that we're facing.
Correct is right. Correct is right. What we're following through this morning, guys, at our end is this other pandemic. The carnage on the roads, and yesterday, just at Blackbush again, 2 persons lost their lives. There was the bus driver and a lone passenger when this bus crashed into quarantine. Yep.
I don't know what else to say. I had this conversation with someone right there in Canada, because when it comes to driving and so forth, I was telling a young man that we don't, like, I don't think he can drive in Guyana because he's so used to roadways and so forth, and persons following the road system and the regulations that are there, that he would be in serious trouble here.
Yeah.
Where everybody does their own thing, and you see people coming out of places that they have no business driving out of, and all of those things. We have the worst system, the absolute worst system.
Correct.
Let me tell you, I'm going to say it like this. I was in British Columbia, in that province there in Canada, and I specifically went to a city of Victoria, and the culture shock, the shock, like a literal shock. So we were crossing the street to go to another event. We're crossing the street, and we approached like Guyanese style. We approached the pedestrian crossing, and we were about to look left and right about 6 different times and hope a vehicle would stop. The vehicles that were coming from way up the road, a corner away, was already braking before you could even attempt to cross. I'm like, what sorcery is this?
Yeah. Guadeloupe. The one from Guadeloupe.
People stop for you to cross the road?
Yeah.
Like this happens?
Cultural shock indeed. Run the garden. Leslie Charles, people do things differently elsewhere. And we gotta learn to use the road with caution. And again, good public education could play a role here. Good public education.
I think good public penalties needs to be enforced. Like, I think it's more of an enforcement at this point.
Some of these accidents are avoidable.
Yeah.
Totally avoidable. The loss of lives, totally avoidable. We believe that when the time is the time, but the other side of that,
you don't go testing that.
Yeah.
You don't go testing that.
Yeah, you don't go testing at all.
We have to have penalties in place. Persons need to feel penalties. Too many lives are being lost on the roadways. It's probably about 80 persons already lost their lives thus far.
A lot of folks.
I don't know, but it's just
a lot of folks. A lot of folks. And you know what is the other pandemic which we're tracking? This one here. Domestic violence. Domestic violence. We reported a case in St. Kitts and Nevis yesterday afternoon where a Guyanese national killed his girlfriend and then himself, burned the house down. And then yesterday, we had Michael Wilson, who was fatally stabbed at Golden Grove. The young woman said she was leaving, and
Yeah.
he tried to prevent her from leaving, cut her in her hand with a knife. The report said she managed to get a knife from him, and
Yeah.
several stab wounds later, he succumbed to the hospital.
Yeah. This
Domestic violence.
this is something, and I always tell women, I always tell people generally, we have to be smart in these situations and all that. And I understand her position. Everything that she said, I understood based on what has been circulated. Let me say that what has been circulated in the public. All I've been reading, she's there, she's trying to leave, and he's trying to stop her. She says the claimed her that he was abusive to her prior, and this is like for her. I think she's based on my understanding, and this is matters going to be going to be placed before the court, in which all the details will be laid out there. So, but as we're seeing it right now, this is somebody that actually just tried to defend themselves so that they would not lose their own life. And sad as sad it is, we have a young man that is there.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
these situations could be avoided.
Yeah. Lady, why you go about your business? Like I said,
These situations.
lady,
could
why
be
you go about your
avoided.
business? You don't own her. She don't own you. Go about your business,
We have to get to that point. I know, I always say, mothers, you speak to your sons, speak to your daughters, tell your daughters that it's okay to leave. Tell your sons it's okay for the woman to leave. Those things are totally okay. We don't own anybody. I think shared that a lot of persons are they just see life in this box. And they just don't understand that they can look outside of this box and there's a whole universe there to explore. And don't see your life in this box like you are you are tied to somebody. If you are not with them, you're gonna die. That's not the way in which things are supposed to work. Look outside that box. If you're not,
you don't
with this
own
person,
anybody. It's
you
not
don't
working
know.
out.
If you just go far, you may
Move
find
on.
somebody that you are
Move on.
totally okay and happy with if you are not in that little space. But you have to think outside the box, and we have to be okay with persons leaving. It's
Correct.
Just, it's sad.
Correct.
Sad situation.
Someone we wish would leave.
Oh my.
We're in the big issue this morning.
He thinks outside the box. He
Right.
thinks outside the box.
You see the-
At the side of the box, at the peak of the box.
The PP deeds. Catch up with them,
I can't help but having the image in my head of him on the stage when I see this photo. I didn't get a chance to properly have this express myself. I'm being such a
The bad deeds catch up with them. And we say that because some of the issues we see ventilating in the press this morning, is like, I told you so. Now, the Transparency International body, locally, TIGI, they're saying that strides in transparency have reversed.
Oh, goodness. Tell me something I don't know.
On the PPP, strides in transparency, right, have reversed. Drida. It's very, very interesting because, some folks, maybe they're too close to the situation to have the appreciation.
Yeah.
But they would doubt you, but don't take our words for it.
My goodness.
This is an internationally recognized body. A matter of fact, it's a chapter for an international body. And it just strides, they're telling us this morning, strides in transparency. We gone back. And this reporting in particular is coming out of the recently robbed Kaicho News. And it says here that while both of the, what am I reading?
Well, yes. You're in tune. You can go ahead.
Yeah, it's according to a presentation, the president of the Ghana Institute for Transparency Incorporated, Frederick Collins, was saying part of the presentation that he made again that we're going backwards on transparency. We're going forward. We are going back on transparency.
But these things,
among other things, not forward.
These things. If I could say, it's good to have it's good to have these institutes and the various agencies and international organizations and so forth come forward and given the context at which they bring. But I have to say that we have been talking about this every single day when it comes to to accountability, not being in check and all of those things. We have been talking about it all the time because we have been tracking it. One of the things that we have been tracking is particularly we put it onto the label, and Shared, you do this so well so many times, breaking down of the guardrails in which you
Correct,
speak
correct,
about the level of intent at which the administration seems to
correct,
be going
correct,
when it comes to making sure that certain institutions are not functioning. and
correct.
and this is what it goes to, every test of transparency. When you're talking about transparency, accountability, those major factors, when you talk about those, there are institutions that are set up to make sure that they go forward and they function efficiently, effectively, and some just function at all. We have institutions that is not functioning at all. So how else do you expect transparency, the Transparency Institute, to actually come forward and give their report? But the PPP, let me tell you, the PPP is going to come forward after this report,
Mhm.
and they're going to say that this organization don't like them, and because of that they're always biased against them.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
mark my word, listen, I put a wager on this. That's what they're going to come forward and say, whilst they are actively putting things in place to make sure that institutions are not functioning, they still try to go and attack the organizations that are given structured critique of that system. It's
Correct,
absolute
correct.
chaos.
I know what another headline that we've seen this morning as we talk about the bad deeds of them boys. Ghana needs independent international body monitoring oil funds to ensure transparent spending.
This is not just
TIGI.
oh my
You see
goodness.
here?
But they probably don't like them either, right? That's
Yeah,
what they're gonna
yeah,
say.
yeah. They are naysayers, as Irfan says.
Yes, naysayers,
Right. They're naysayers.
naysayers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's gonna tell. I can see your friend reading this and saying, TIGI, take it to the bank, come back.
Take it to the bank, TIGI. We're a transparent government. We're for good governance. Take it to the bank.
Forgive me, but this is not going anywhere positive. It is as bad as it can possibly get. We're going to continue to monitor, especially when the new report is going to come out. The new reports that comes out, we're going to continue to monitor all that is going on. So guys, I encourage you to continue to keep, just keep yourself in tune, keep yourself abreast with what is going on, continue to follow the information. I don't know how else we can
Just gotta
do
do what
with
you gotta
this.
do.
I see Gwyneth Anderson's to talk to things director. Gwyneth, that's what I do. I am like, you have no idea, guys. I get to the point in which I just say I honestly feel as though that all the work that is being put into making sure that the government is accountable, the government is transparent. So it's like throwing water on duck back.
Yeah,
That's how we say it in Guyana.
yeah.
Throwing water on duck back,
I'm
because
Isaac here.
these yeah, they just don't care. They continue to go forward and do things however they seem pleased. I went for 1 week to make sure that you had training for 1 week on how best your audit office and your PAC can work in making sure that it is strengthened and is functioning properly and all of that. And all I'm thinking is that I hope that when I get back home, and I hope that when we address these issues, that you're gonna
They
get
forget.
some sign of
They forget.
consensus moving forward.
By the time them boys flying back, they done forgetting all them stuff.
Yes.
Deliberately forgetting.
I see Marlon's asking Gerardo when last the PAC met, and I'm gonna answer that. The PAC doesn't meet, no committees meet during recess, and we are just out of recess. The Parliament is back. Well, Parliament is out of recess officially from the 10th of October. So that is as of yesterday. Yesterday was a holiday,
Yeah.
or the PAC would have met yesterday, but now the PAC is going to meet next Monday and all the Mondays moving forward. Once the PPP shows up to the meeting,
Yeah.
because of that
See,
clause that they put
see,
there.
there's all that.
Yeah.
All those qualifiers, all those
It's
caveats.
sad. It's sad,
If they show up,
Yeah.
if they have a parliamentary sitting, if they.
Let me just be in the comment section a little bit as we wrap up.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
see there Glenford Gordon says, God will deal with them. I see Ramesh Prasad. I don't know where Ramesh is coming from,
Ramesh
but
lives in yesterday,
oh
clearly.
yeah. I don't know where Ramesh
Clearly,
is.
so many
I
things
see
you could
Don
talk
Cook.
about.
Good morning, Ramesh. Thank you for being
Yeah,
here
yeah,
this
yeah.
morning. It's always a pleasure to have new folks.
Drink your water,
online.
Ramesh.
Yes, I
Drink
see
your water.
Don Cook, Jacqueline Thomas, out front parts. All of you wonderful folks that's here with us this morning. Thank you so much for always coming.
Including
through.
Ramesh, you know?
I always include
It
Ramesh.
helps.
Come on.
Including Ramesh.
I see Maureen Williams is here. I hope all is well, Maureen, at your end. Ayabo is laughing. Ayabo is pure laughing emojis this morning. Cecile Ogle, Loretta, and hope you guys are. I see. Some of the comments I can't read with a straight face.
Yeah.
Guys, sometimes you comment some things and I'm just about to read it and I'm like, I can't read it with a straight
Ramesh
face.
says good morning. Yes. You talking.
Yes, good morning, Ramesh. I'm happy to have you here. Yes, you see, all smiley face and everything, Ramesh.
Kumbaya now.
Kumbaya,
my Lord.
Edward Gonzalez from the Bronx. Edward, thank you so much for joining that comment there. I have missed you. Welcome back, Jared. Says Cecile Ogle. Thank you so much, Cecile. I hope all is well at your end. Sharon is just not liking this part very well. Debbie Hoycard, good morning to you. Good morning to all of you. Guys, go out there and be great. We're just about program time right now. Go out there, be great, be safe, be careful. Any of you that's in any relationship that you have no business being in, just start strategizing a way out, seek help and all of those things. And if you think you're having some mental health issues, make sure that you do your part and make sure that you seek that help. Folks, if you're in a home with someone that you see looking depressed and so, give care and consideration, make sure that they are okay. We have to care about each other. The world is 2022. There's so many challenges that persons did not have to deal with like 20, 30 years ago. There's so many new dimensions towards life and all that. So make sure that you care about people a little bit more these days. That's how I'm going to end my program here today.
Yeah. The struggle is real.
Yes. Have a good day, guys.
Have a good day, guys. Have a fantastic day.